today. Thank you for having us and allowing us to speak with you about wonderful educational exchange opportunities in the United States. As you just heard from our President Obama, if we live together, work together, study together, we will prosper together worldwide. The U.S. diplomatic mission to South Africa has a number of exchange programs to indeed help us live and learn and work together so that we will prosper. We are grateful to 4 students here today who will be sharing their experience with applying to U.S. universities, why they wanted to study in the United States, how they got started, and what they plan to do. First of all, I'd like to introduce Nitya Ramesh. Nitya is a third culture kid, Indian-born, African-bred, whose adventure doesn't stop here. She's headed to the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, to continue developing her global perspective in the field of business and economics. Then we have Ms. Courtney James. Courtney is teeing off, as she said, to go to Columbus State University in Georgia, where she received an academic and a golf sports scholarship to study for her bachelor's degree. Next, we will have Mr. Bongani Ladla. He will be going to the University of California, Berkeley. Bongani is the founding chairperson of Umgeni Water Young Professionals Forum. He is a civil engineer by training and a World Economic Forum global shaper. He graduated from the University of KwaZulu-Natal with a bachelor's in civil engineering cum laude, and recently completed a management development program through the same institution. He joined Umgeni Water as a bursary recipient in 2008 and as a graduate engineer in 2011. He was later promoted in 2014 to the position of engineer. He's married to Vezekile Zungu, who also has a PhD from UKZN, and they have one beautiful child, Kuhle Konke. Joining us shortly will be Mfundo Radebe. Mfundo is a KwaZulu-Natal local boy, local teenager, who through persistence and perseverance will be attending the prestigious Harvard University in the United States after being accepted on a full scholarship. So thank you to all of you for being here today to speak with us. These students represent our 2 main education programs at the U.S. Consulate, Education USA and the Fulbright Foreign Student Program. Education USA is an advisory service to assist students interested in applying to the United States through the U.S. University application process. We offer introductory information sessions at the Bessie Head Library in Pietermaritzburg and at Durban City Hall on a regular basis. And then we offer follow-up workshops regarding the different aspects of the U.S. university admissions. With over 5,000 accredited universities in the U.S., requirements vary, and our aim is to help students navigate this complex system. 3 of these students here made use of our Education USA services. U.S. tertiary education, I will not lie, is very, very expensive. But the amazing thing is that over 1,000 universities in the United States offer partial scholarships to international students, and over 100 offer absolutely full scholarships for bachelor degree students. Of course, the more funds that are needed, the stronger the student's application and previous academic record have to be. We have students here who've received sports scholarships, partial scholarships, and full scholarships, and that gives you an idea of the range of scholarships that are available. The Fulbright program is our flagship international educational exchange program sponsored by the U.S. government, and it is designed to increase mutual understanding between the people of the United States and people of other countries. Established in 1946 and in South Africa since 1953, approximately 400,000 students from over 153 different countries have participated in Fulbright programs. The Fulbright Foreign Student Program offers grants to outstanding students who we hope will be future leaders in their fields to go to the United States to complete a master's or a PhD program, or to do research for a current South African PhD program. Fulbright alumni from South Africa include many people whom I cannot all list here, but just to name a few names: Professor Jonathan Jansen, Vice Chancellor, University of the Free State; Dr. Sibusiso Sibisi, CEO and President of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research; and cartoonist Jonathan Zapiro. The list of alumni will also soon include Bongani Dladla, here with us today. So let me stop talking and let our guests begin. We'll go ahead and we'll start with Mfundo Radebe, who is going to be jetting off to Harvard University. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Susan, for the great introduction. My name is Mfundo Radebe, as has been said, and I'm from the township of Umlazi. And, you know, when I tell people the story of the fact that I'm going to Harvard, I think it's something that most people look and they say, seriously? You know, you're from Umlazi, that's not meant to be happening, or, you know, you wouldn't expect something to happen to somebody from Umlazi. So, what I want to speak about today is not only really about the journey of applying to Harvard, but really how I came about to making that decision to go to Harvard, or to even make the decision to apply to Harvard. And hopefully, in the process of that, I think young people can be inspired to know that it is accessible to everybody, and that there are opportunities, whether they're in South Africa or whether they're on an international stage, for not only just South Africans to prosper and to be inspired, but also for Africans as a whole. So before I start speaking, I think I need to preface this with the fact that, sure, I attended Crawford College in Lucia, and I've heard this many times, people say, well, what's so unexpected in somebody from Crawford College in Lucia going to attend school at a prestigious elite institution such as Harvard? However, I think that really doesn't explain the full picture, and I feel that I must place that into context, how I came about to attending Crawford, how I came about to attending Northwood as well in my initial high school years. So the story goes like this. There was a young man, and he was 13 years old at this time. He was in grade 7 at Addington Primary School, and he was quite stressed near the end of his year. He was doing quite well academically, I would say, and he was the top of his grade. But the sad truth was that he was the son of a single mother, and he just would not be able to attend the so-called good schools that our country can afford. I remember telling myself, okay, well, that's it. I'm just going to give up, and you know what? I'm just going to hang up and not actually try to make an effort to get myself into a school where I wanted to get into. So I applied for a Michael Susan Dell scholarship, and I got it, and I went to Northwood. And even when I was there, I told myself I wanted to go to Crawford, and I applied for a scholarship to attend Crawford. So I was at Crawford on a full scholarship, and that's something that I would like to be known. And you know, when I was at Crawford, I think I also told myself that I could achieve anything. And one of those was telling myself that I could apply to Harvard, and that I would be able to get in. And you know, part of that process was, of course, Education USA and the Opportunity Fund program. So the Opportunity Fund program sort of enabled me to be able to write the SAT tests and to apply to Harvard, because it's actually quite a strenuous process. You have to write essays and submit all these essays, etc., etc. And, you know, I remember there is an article that went out on News 24 when I had gone into Harvard, and it said, I kind of gave up on Harvard. I don't know how many people have seen that, but that is, I think, a real emotion that I'd gone through as I was applying. The fact that I told myself, well, I'm from this township opportunity, even though I've been given access to Education USA, which will guide you and, you know, help you understand the whole process of applying overseas, I still sort of said to myself, okay, well, I can't, and I gave up. But eventually I just did it, because I felt as though, well, the sky's the limit. So, when you're applying to Harvard, you either hear on the early decision deadline or the regular decision deadline. So because I'm South African and we start university on January or in Feb, I felt that it would be easier for me to apply by the early deadline. And I recall I'd applied and I said, okay, it's out now. And when I received the news on the 10th of December, 2015, and I logged into this platform and it said, congratulations. You can just imagine the sheer excitement that I experienced at that time. So it was really a great emotion. But even more so, after experiencing all that, it was sort of this telling myself, well, how can I make other people know about this opportunity? Which is why I did reach out to the media, so that they would know that it is possible, that it is not only people from a privileged environment who get to attend Harvard or MIT or Yale or Stanford or whichever university it is in the States, really. And with that, I must say that the States offers a great variety of options, about 5,000, Susan, if I'm not mistaken, 5,000 universities. And it really is just about trying to find your feet where you fit in as well. But I think, apart from just applying to Harvard, one of the reasons why I did apply to Harvard is because I knew that I would be able to find a home where I would be able to dabble in political science, dabble in economics, dabble in African studies, and really define my course the way I wanted it to be defined. And I didn't want to be restricted by any specific, packaging, and that's why I really loved the liberal arts philosophy that Harvard offered its students. But even more so, I knew that Harvard, by virtue of how wealthy its alumni are, would be able to fund my education to the United States. So it is quite a costly process, I would say. And when you do get involved in Education USA, then Susan sort of helps you understand, well, what exactly are your options? Because I think there is no use in me trying to attend a university, no matter how great it is, if I wouldn't be able to afford it. So when I was awarded a full scholarship to Harvard, then it really was an amazing feeling. It was the greatest ever. In fact, it was more exciting than getting in itself. And I think that as young people, I need to be honest to you and say that obviously it's not just, well, because he came from Umlazi, then he would have gotten to Harvard. I think that we need to be very realistic and say the fact that for example, a specific SAT score is required. For example, you need to have, for example, have achieved certain marks or done well in school, as a general remark. I think that it is realistic though, and it is something that I would like other people to explore. And one other thing I love about the university that I will be going to is that there really is no set criteria for what they're looking for. When I got in and the video from the dean of the college said, you may be asking yourself why you got in, but rest assured that you will find a home here and you do belong. And I feel as though, as South Africans, we have this culture of assuming that we need to only go into this specific field, or we need to only go into this specific university because, that's what everyone else does. But the message that I would purely like to leave today is that we need to be able to defy the status quo. Because whether it was when I wanted to move to Crawford, or whether it was when I decided to apply to Harvard, I feel as though it was when I'm, telling myself that now that I'm too comfortable in that specific situation, then that's when I know I need to move. And I think, that's my story of how I went from Umlazi to Harvard. Thank you.